Gentlemen, the time has come once again to discuss things.
The philosophical meaning of life and how it relates to
You ready to get started then?
I am ready.
Alright, hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Geeky Gentlemen. I am the mythical Sid Part 2. Joining me today is the magnanimous Deadpoolzilla, and also Rasco, who I cannot think of an M-related word to add to the alliteration.
Immaculate?
No, that's not M. That is...
It has an M in it, so...
So, that doesn't mean alliteration.
Because Poison is the enemy of all comics.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, hello, gentlemen.
Hi.
Hi.
Oi.
How's it going? Everything
Great.
good in the world?
Yeah. It's a wonderful life.
Yeah, everything's great. Anyway, Deadpoolzilla, what are we talking about tonight?
We're going to relive our long-dead childhoods and talk about our favorite cartoons growing up. Not so much modern-day cartoons, but more like the stuff we grew up with, and maybe talk about if it holds up or not.
Yeah, we're talking about some cartoons.
Some cartoons. Yeah, and I mean, we did a list of our top 10 animated series, but like I had Archer and Futurama on that. And I watched Futurama from time to time growing up, but it certainly wasn't my go-to until much later in life. Obviously, Archer wasn't. So, if you want the Geeky Gentleman's top 10 list of animated series, you can go check out that video. This is just more about what we grew up watching. We're going to talk about that. So, I should preface this by saying I have not gone back to a number of these in years. And, like, the first one I'm going to talk about is pretty much the epitome of why I don't want to go back to a lot of these. So, you know, Netflix, it does its thing where it puts a show up for a while, and you're like, oh my god, I remember watching that, and so you start watching it.
Of course.
It did that with the show Street Sharks.
Oh, yeah. I know that
Ian,
show.
I'll do you one better. I didn't watch it on Netflix. I have the DVD collection at home.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I watched an episode, literally an episode of Street Sharks on Netflix, and I was like, oh my god, this is the worst thing
I know,
ever.
like, dude, I spent like 3 episodes in. I literally said to myself, I am so glad I got this for $5.
Yeah, it's... Street Sharks was so, like, the epitome of cool to me as a child in the 90s. The toys fucking rocked my socks. They were awesome. Fuck your Ninja Turtles. Street Sharks every day was young Ian's motto. Man, going back and watching that cartoon, just for an episode, I was like, wow, this is terrible. It's like everything bad about the Ninja Turtles wrapped up into one show. Like, they have their fucking
Wouldn't that also
catchphrases.
just be Ninja Turtles? Everything bad about Ninja Turtles wrapped up into one show?
Oh, we go to fight, son, if you keep that up.
No, man, like, Ninja Turtles still had a charm, and it's always been kind of self-aware. Like, it started out as a parody. This is just straight 90s marketing.
Okay, so
Like-
it's everything bad about Ninja Turtles without the good.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So, like,
I know Street Sharks. I was just clarifying.
they have all their catchphrases, I remember, and, like,
Oh.
it's so cringeworthy. Jossum! and
Oh my
shark
god!
attack.
Oh,
It's terrible.
Ian, do you remember Extreme Dinosaurs?
Yeah, Bill told me about that show, and I remember I had a couple of the toys for that too, but I never watched the show.
I
And
used to
then
have.
we found out that they had a crossover episode.
Yeah, they actually had a whole crossover season together, and I actually owned all the action figures to both Extreme Dinosaurs and Street Sharks.
Oh
I
my
was
god.
looking back, I'm like, wow, this is so terrible.
It
I'm like,
is. I
but
have no idea how my parents put up with me watching that crap.
the other thing is, in a weird way, this could actually work if you could actually take this premise of turning people into like shark humans and make it cool. The problem is that it is so a product of its time.
Oh, definitely. Like, there's the one Street Shark that has fucking rollerblades. It is the epitome of the 90s in every conceivable way.
Rollerblades
But
are cool, bro.
I will say this though, this is probably where my love of sharks came from. Was probably watching this show, so gotta give him that.
Yeah. Oh. Street Sharks is just something that I think about every so often. I'm like, I remember just it was entirely a thing built around the idea of making cool toys. And, I remember those toys. They're fucking awesome. Like, I remember there was the killer whale one, and there was the one, describing this, there's the one that had hair, which for a boy's action figure was, like, really substantial. It had, like, physical hair, like, that it was, like, doll hair, and a electric guitar.
Oh, and
it was an anthropomorphic shark with metal hair and an electric guitar. Oh my god, it was a thing of beauty.
The sad part is I remember the whale guy's name, Slamoo.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh, I remember the name. The sad part is I could like name all of the extreme dinosaurs, and that saddens me on a physical
level. What would be the best review series on the internet ever? Is if someone sat there and watched an episode of Street Sharks and an episode of Extreme Dinosaurs back to back every week for as long as those series existed. And just had to do it like a live commentary, experiencing that level of awful.
You could call it the Extreme Sharks or the Street Dinosaurs reviews.
Oh my god, that would be just the epitome of beautiful. And it would have to be on camera. You couldn't do that as straight audio commentaries. You'd have to see the pain of someone sitting through that. That is a series for Doug Walker, if I've ever heard of one.
Oh, that sounds like a challenge for you, Ian.
Oh, don't throw that out there. Anyway, but yeah, like Street Sharks is an example of why I don't like to go back to a lot of shows that I watched as a kid, because I'm like, I'm pretty sure most of them are not very good. And so yeah, that's one of those things where I'm like, this probably shouldn't be something I check out too often. I'll keep the memories. How about you, Rasco? What's a show you watched last week?
Last week?
That was a joke about you being young.
Oh. I get it now. Alright, so I need to know if I'm cheating or not, because the thing is, I did watch a lot of shows growing up. Like, I watched, like, Dexter and, like, SpongeBob and, I don't know.
I
like
guess
a bunch
those
of
count. I guess since it's part of your childhood, I guess that counts.
A bunch of other crap. But the thing is, I mainly, when I was a kid, really liked to collect, like, older shows from before, like, that weren't on TV at that time, like, that were way before my time. Like, I had, like, G.I. Joe, the original G.I. Joe animated series, and I had, like, Transformers G1, like, I had the G1 cartoon, and I had a whole lot of, like, Hanna-Barbera stuff. Like, I had everything Scooby-Doo. Like, everything. I have seen so much Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo was probably, like, the #1 cartoon that I watched growing up.
Yeah, no shame in that. I actually liked Mystery Incorporated.
Screw that. I'm just kidding. I'm joking. It's actually kind of interesting. I kind of like it.
I actually like have a soft. I know it's a terrible movie, but I really love Ghoul School.
Yeah, I know. So few people know about that. Actually, I try to tell people about that, and they're like, "That's the craziest Scooby-Doo thing ever." I'm like, "I know, it's awesome."
Because the whole thing is that I feel like it was supposed to be a pilot for another show, but they just threw Scooby-Doo into it.
I know that's exactly the case. It literally feels like something else because it contradicts everything that you ever would think about in Scooby-Doo. Like Scooby-Doo is always about like the rational explanation for everything, and that is the reverse. And like,
Oh, Rasco, actually, it's funny you mentioned Scooby-Doo, because, like, today at work they asked me a question I didn't know the answer to it. When they pull off the villain's mask in Scooby-Doo, he always says, "I would have gotten away with it too if not for your meddling kids." What did they say about Scooby? There's, like, another line there.
and your stinking dog too, or something like that.
Or
On
just
your stinking dog?
No, it's just and your dog too.
Okay, yeah, I was right. It is just your dog. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
All right. No, I was just sorry. I was wondering about that because they asked me that question. I'm like, I'm pretty sure they just say "and your dog."
Yeah, they
Yeah.
do.
Oh, just
but-
checking out.
But yeah, like the whole. We'll move on. But the one thing I want to say about Ghoul School is that has such potential to get rebooted into this generation. I think it has, and no one wants to touch it. I don't know why.
Well, I mean, I don't think it has any actual potential of ever existing, but it has like narrative potential.
Yeah. But anything else, Rasco?
No, I would just say that like I watched a whole lot of Scooby Doo. There's a whole lot of like Scooby Doo episodes that I know really well. I also watched like do you guys remember the show Shaolin Showdown on Cartoon Network?
Oh, I love that show. I hated Shaolin Chronicles though. That was total garbage.
I don't
Was
know
it
anything
like a-
about Shaolin Chronicles.
Was the main character like a yellow, bald? Like
There was
I think
four
he was
main
supposed to be a
characters.
monk?
There was Raimundo. I think his name was
Omi.
Clay. I don't know what the girl's name was, and then there was
It's
the
Kimiko. It was Kimiko.
yeah, okay, yeah, it's an awesome name. And then what was Yellow Head Kid?
Omi.
Yeah, okay,
Omi.
that was.
And they were all like they were kind of like benders. It's pretty much the same premise as like Avatar, where like there's like benders and they all have like an element. So, like Raimundo is wind and Clay is earth and stuff like that, and then it's fire and water. And then it was like they fought over these cool like talisman or what were they called? What did they refer to
The Shengong Wu. That was Shengong Wu.
Okay, well they were like gadgets that had magical abilities that made you like do cool things, like fight and cool. Like it was just awesome. It was a cool show.
I really liked that show. It gave me a lot of cool villains. Jace Young was totally awesome as a villain.
Yeah.
I remember. Oh, I am such a friggin' nerd right now.
Oh wow. Okay. And see, I remember like seeing that show on Disney at different points. I only watched like I didn't get Disney Channel till I was in early middle school, and by that point I was right at the edge of its age demographic. So the only show I watched at that point was Lilo and Stitch, but I remember seeing all the ads for all the other shows on Disney. Like,
Yeah.
well, that wasn't a Disney show.
Also-
but like,
Also, Ian, need I remind you? You also saw their whole shared universe episodes. On Lilo
oh
and
yeah, the
Stitch.
Lilo and Stitch series where they did like American Dragon Jake Long and Proud Family goes to Hawaii and Kim
Recess.
Possible. Yeah, Recess was the weirdest. Like
Those
they
are
had
all such
no.
bad crossover ideas. They're
Yes.
all so bad.
Yes,
None of
Recess
those
was-
are interesting crossovers with Lilo and Stitch.
American Dragon Jake Long actually kind of fit because the whole premise of that show was they tracked down like mythical creatures and Lilo and Stitch tracked down alien creatures, so they basically got their wires crossed is what happened. That crossover made the most sense, but the animation style of American Dragon was like very flat characters.
Yeah.
So to see that with Lilo and Stitch with like the rounded characters, it literally looked like fan art plastered.
That's hilarious. I was about to ask, like, did they change the animation at all? Like,
I would
they
make
kept.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
They kept the character models and just plastered them straight into the Lilo and Stitch show. It looked awful, but that was the one that made the most sense. Then there was the Kim Possible crossover.
Too long, you just turned flat all of a sudden.
Yep. Then there was the Kim Possible crossover, and that one didn't make much sense. But like, okay, Kim goes around the world. Sure, she goes to Hawaii to deal with aliens. Why not? But then it just went downhill. The Proud family's just in Hawaii fucking randomly. And God, Recess made the least sense. These kids go to school together. What the fuck are they doing in Hawaii together? You know how much money it costs to go to Hawaii?
It's so random.
There's no
field trip
school
to Hawaii,
field trip.
kids. Woohoo!
There is no school field trip that's taking your asses to Hawaii.
Yeah,
That's not fucking happening. Yeah, so like I didn't watch many of the Disney shared universe stuff. I didn't watch it like Shaolin Showdown. I remember seeing ads for, but that's one I never got into on Cartoon Network. You know, I get a lot of looks for this in the superhero community, but I didn't really start getting into comics and stuff until like comics or superheroes or anything until after Batman Begins, after I saw that movie. So here's where they lynch me. You ready?
Okay.
I never really watched Batman the Animated Series or Superman the Animated Series growing up. I knew of it. I caught episodes here and there, but I never like really sat down and got into it. It was just kind of always around. I did, however, watch Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. I thought those were cool.
Yeah.
So I saw the end of the DCAU.
I had to go back and watch Batman the Animated Series. Like, I had some of the movies from when I was really young, but like I had to go. That was a show I had to go back and watch.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I got a show that I think still holds up even in my elder years. In fact, it actually enhances it. A little show I call Gargoyles.
Oh, everybody loved Gargoyles. I caught a couple episodes of Gargoyles.
Dude, I will go on record to say that I think Gargoyles is actually better than Batman the Animated Series.
That's a hard sell.
I haven't seen it, so I can't talk.
I haven't like I love Batman TAS, but man, Gargoyles every episode is just a great sell because of how Greg Weisman ties this universe together and how far he was able to go with that show. Whereas I feel like Batman TAS does have some really just awful episodes. Like, can you guys remember Farmer Brown?
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you that. It's certainly got its stumblings. But at the same time, you gotta realize that you wouldn't have Gargoyles if not for Batman the Animated Series. BTAS is really interesting because not only is it good, but it's also important. It's one of those rare moments where it's like was it a good series.
I'm not discrediting Batman TAS, but if you were to ask me like what show would I enjoy more, and which I think had the most consistent strong episodes canonically, I would say Gargoyles.
That's fair. I haven't ever gone back to watch any Gargoyles. Like, I remember I caught bits and pieces of it growing up. I think I had a Goliath toy. I feel like he had a cape, though, and that seems weird.
Oh, that wasn't. I remember that action figure. I don't think it was Goliath. I think it was Hudson.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I remember I had a Gargoyles action figure. No, it wasn't a cape. It was Goliath. He had wings that would actually like fold out, and then they could fold over around his neck, and his wings would drape like a cape. And so it was all like fabric. That was it.
I have.
Go ahead, Resco.
I have a question, but it's gonna change the topic. So, like, continue on with Gargoyles, and then I can change it to what I was going to talk about. Continue.
Okay. No, I mean, Gargoyles, I remember it, and it was a neat series. Maybe a little forced in some of it, but at the same time, it was the 90s, so... Gargoyles was cool. It was neat to see Disney do something kind of edgier like that.
I still think it is one of Disney's best shows. I wouldn't say like it's the best. I mean, we had friggin' Gravity Falls and a few other shows. But I think like it was the one that it proved to be you could go dark in the night. Like it was one of the darkest shows in the 90s and was probably one of I think Gargoyles is Disney's darkest show.
Probably. Okay, Rasco, what were you going to say?
Okay, I was going to ask you guys, what was the Transformers show that was on when you were growing up? Because there's always
Beast
like a
Wars
new
for me.
Transformers show on. And I remember the one that was like really big when I was really young and I was really into it was the one that was really focused on like mini-cons.
Oh, that's Armada.
Yeah,
That's-
yeah, it was Armada. It was Transformers Armada.
And then it was Cybertron, and then the following series was Energon. That was the whole trilogy right there.
Yeah.
But for me, the first Transformers show I grew up with was Beast Wars.
Yep, Beast Wars, it was all CG, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, yeah, I remember Beast Wars. I didn't watch a ton of that. I never really got super into Transformers either. But I do remember the uniqueness of a CGI cartoon show at that time. Which really worked for the Transformers in an interesting way that I don't feel it would have for other cartoons of the day. Like, I don't, Rocko's Modern Life was a cartoon show I really liked growing up, but I can't imagine them doing that in 3D and having it look good.
Yeah. Speaking of 3D shows, you guys remember the Starship Troopers TV show?
Nope.
That was called Roughnecks. It was more based on the books, and that show was dark.
Oh, interesting. No, Beast Wars I remember being, because it was in CG, and it was interesting to see them experiment with that tech in the 90s. Other shows I remember, growing up with big time were Rugrats, Rocko's Modern Life. I was a Nick kid. I didn't get Cartoon Network till, years later. I didn't get Disney Channel, like I said, till almost the end of my childhood. So I was definitely more of a Nickelodeon kid. So Rugrats, Rocko's Modern Life, Ren and Stimpy. I never really found out if my dad was just lying to me to make me like him more, or if he was dead serious about this. But my father worked in cable for decades. He was one of the executives for Charter Cable, and they were planning to pull the plug on airing Ren and Stimpy on Nickelodeon in the Charter market. And he always told me that the only reason they kept doing it was because he convinced them to, because I liked it. I don't know if he was shitting me or not, but I always kept that little connection in my head. Also, side note that I always forget to talk about, I was slimed as a kid.
Oh, you fucking lucky bastard.
Oh, that's
no,
an
it
honor.
is. Yeah, it is not as cool as it sounds. That shit is cold as balls, man.
I don't care.
Yeah, I was slimed as a kid because of my father's connections. That was
the
always me.
privilege, you bastard.
Yeah, my privilege. I'm so privileged.
Slime
I gotta
privilege.
check my privilege.
God.
I gotta check my slime privilege.
Dude,
Damn me.
Get out of here.
I think we just found the bit for this. We found a little cut scene for.
Yeah,
for
check
this
your
episode.
privilege.
Dear
Check
slime
your
people.
slime privilege.
Yo, hashtag slime privileges.
Slime.
Resolutions for slime people 2017.
Oh, that's a good one.
New Year's
Hashtag
resolution
slime
for
lives.
slime people.
Slime lives matter.
Man, I'm gonna have to see if I can find that old picture of me getting slimed. I'm pretty sure I left it at my dad's house. Didn't even think about it after he died. Ah, damn.
Oh.
Anyway,
But and I did watch a lot of Nickelodeon, but if you were to ask me what kind of kid I was in the three different shows, I would say I was more of a Disney kid growing up. I mean, I had Ren and Stimpy and Hey Arnold and all of them growing up, but yeah, Disney was the thing I remember the most of watching. I can't believe I remember this too. If you thought Street Sharks and Extreme Dinosaurs was weird, remember Mighty Ducks?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I know about I had Mighty
Yeah.
Ducks action figures. And like the thing was I had the action figure and I'd seen clips of the show, but I'd never seen the movie Mighty Ducks. And so I was at Blockbuster with my dad one time, like, let's rent this movie. And he's like, okay. So I rented. I'm like, when are they going to turn into ducks? I was like so disappointed because like the cartoon was anthropomorphic ducks in hockey gear. Why the fuck wasn't the movie that?
Yeah, that was the same way with me. Where it's like, when am I going to see the duck people? But my thing was that it was the most insane show. It's anthropomorphic duck people from an alien world who fight magical dinosaur dragon people
with hockey gear.
From
hockey.
the director of Avatar, James Cameron, comes Mighty Ducks.
What, they're rebooting the fucking hockey movie again? Oh no. This is the live action version of the cartoon show.
Yeah, with
I would pay
the CG
money.
technology is here. We can create CGI duck humans.
Dude, I would pay money to see the James Cameron Mighty Ducks anthropomorphic ducks movie. Like,
James Cameron, Andy Serkis, Mighty Ducks. Like, this is another segment. Slime privilege, and then James Cameron's Mighty Ducks. Starring Andy Serkis.
I
think you broke him, Rasco.
Well, like, it's funny. Deadpool and I last night, we were talking about War for the Planet of the Apes. We're like, man, Andy Serkis deserves a fucking Oscar. There's so much emotion in that movie, and he does so well.
Yeah.
And the Academy's never going to recognize him for it. And I can just imagine, Academy Award winner as the lead duck.
Academy Award winner, Andy Serkis. Mighty Ducks.
Mighty Ducks. Oh, man.
Nominated for 11 Oscars. 7 Golden Globes.
And for
And a
some
Grammy.
reason, an Emmy.
And so for some reason, a Grammy.
There you go.
For Best
Oh,
Original
man.
Song. Eminem did the track for the ending credits.
Done by Aerosmith.
Lose yourself in the darkness. It's like a remix of DuckTales.
I'm King of the Ducks. That's James Cameron when he wins Oscar for Best Director. I'm King of the Ducks.
The Academy was really won over by the scene that showed the brutal mating habits of ducks. With their corkscrew barbed penises and their corkscrew vaginas.
Some countries, they had to cut that scene out. That scene was banned.
For the very graphic 10-minute long duck rape scene.
Damn.
Oh,
Dark.
oh man.
This took a turn.
Yeah, it really did.
We've got like 3 segment options now.
Yeah, we do.
Um,
Anyway.
so-
Oh, man.
I guess like
Rasco, what were you a kid? Because Deadpoolzilla says Disney, I say Nick. What was the cartoon channel you watched the most?
I watched, when I was really young, I probably watched a lot of Cartoon Network when I was really young, and then Disney when I was a little bit older, like, talking like 10. And then as I got like 12, 13, 14, I started watching Nick.
Really? Because, like, I found Nick... I found I grew out of Nick, where, like...
Yeah, it was weird. I
None of their
regressed.
shows related to me at all after I got to a certain age. Like, you know, Ren and Stimpy was more of an adult show, which was weird. And that got canned. Rocko's Modern Life had a lot of, humor to it, but that eventually stopped being made. Rugrats, I stuck around with for a while. And then
I
they
did watch
that thing where
Rugrats
they
when I
made
was
them-
really young a lot, actually.
Yeah. Then
You
they
guys
did that thing where they made them grown up.
Yeah,
like
Rugrats All Grown Up. I used to watch that, too.
14-year-olds.
Oh,
Yeah, like that one I-
really want to shout it out. I know the theme
Yeah.
song.
Yeah, like I remember watching that and I'm like, God, this is terrible.
How dare you talk about the Rugrats like that, boy?
All Grown Up was awful. It was the opposite of good. And what was weird is for a while they were airing All Grown Up and new episodes of the original Rugrats at the same time, and that was confusing. Oh my god, it was so weird. They'd like introduce a character in the All Grown Up series, and then they'd say, "Oh, hey, it's our old friend, blah blah blah," and then like the next week they introduce that character as a baby on the children's series. I'm like, what the shit is this? I can't cope. I cannot cope with this. That was weird.
I do agree that is kind of weird, and I do agree that the All Grown Up show is not nearly as good as OG Rugrats, but
Yeah.
you're being too harsh.
Do you guys like? For me, I think it was kind of opposite. Where I grew up with Disney and less with Nick, but as I grew up a little more, Nick kind of became more for me because at that point Disney was kind of cycling out a lot of their older animated shows, and then you had like for Nick it was Danny Phantom and My Life as a Teenage Robot. You had some
I
good
really
animated...
didn't like a lot of the Nick animated shows. I mainly watched Nick for the like terrible like shows like Drake and Josh, like iCarly that were like terrible, but people watched them because they were kind of funny. Those are the shows I watched Nick for.
Yeah, like I remember Danny Phantom, and like I really liked Fairly Odd Parents. I was always so disappointed with Danny Phantom though, because it was a fantastic premise. You know, superpowered ghosts.
That is really
thing.
cool. That was the coolest
But
thing
like
about that show.
it just felt like Fairly Odd Parents. It was always like too tongue-in-cheek, too jokey. I'm like, you know, this could be a really awesome action show.
It was.
But it's just not.
Like, I don't know what you're... Well, the first few episodes and a majority of first season does have a bit of slapstick, but it got better through the other two seasons. Like, it decided to be what it wanted.
Hell,
it needed different animation.
Yeah, I checked in with it a lot, and it never seemed to get over that tone. Like,
it needed
what
different
was the name of the adult guy that had Danny's powers too? Vlad something?
Vlad Plasmius.
Yeah. That dude was just super-powered Professor Crocker. I swear to God he was. Like, he had all the exact same mannerisms and stuff, and he would just, like...
Did he twitch like that? And say,
yeah, like, he would do that shit just off-screen. Like, Jack would turn his back, and he would just, like, Jack, I hate you! And, like, you know, arms would go all over the place. I'm like, it did not have a good tone. I never got into Danny Phantom because of the tone. It could have been such a kick-ass series if they really just, you know... grounded it and did something a lot more serious, but like they wanted it to be more like Fairly Odd Parents, and it didn't work for me.
Damn, Ian just laid down the law, and that was 100% truth what he just spoke.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
I'm not going to fight with him right now. I'm not going to. This is not the place.
You can't. That was too impenetrable of an argument. There's nothing you can even say. Get out of here.
Yeah. I mean,
like,
if you liked it, that's fine. It's just I could never get into it because the tone was all wrong.
No, it's not fine. The tone's all wrong. Get out of here. Fuck off.
I'm not, Ian. I'm not going to fight in front of the child.
Okay. No, like, you know, for me, I was a Nick kid growing up. I didn't get Disney until I was very late, but I more aged into a lot of Cartoon Network stuff. Like, they still had some of the more like kid stuff like Dexter's Lab and Courage the Cowardly Dog, and I remember watching that, but like I got into Cartoon Network because of Toonami and then eventually Adult Swim.
Toonami was like a lot like the anime gateway drug for the let's face it, the entire generation.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Like Toonami introduced me to Dragon Ball Z. Like I remember I would have fights with a friend like, okay, so the very first episode of Dragon Ball Z I watched, I'm pretty sure it was either when Vegeta fought Dodoria or Pui. I can't quite remember which of them it was, but it was one of those two guys that he just absolutely dominated, right? That was the very first episode I ever watched. And my friend Ryan, who lived down the street from me, the very first episode he watched was when Goku showed up and took out the, like, Raccoon from the Ginyu Force. And so, like, he and I were always like, no, Vegeta's better, no, Goku's better. And, like, we would always fight about this. And, of course, I was wrong, but we still thought about it. And, man, I was like, because, like, in my mind, Vegeta was the main character of the show. And, like, that's how I got into Dragon Ball Z, and that's something I've been going back through and watching. For those of you that missed it, we posted a special talking about Steve and I reviewing Dragon Ball GT, so if you want to go check that out. But, like, man, that one stuck with me. I got into Z, and then I went back and caught episodes of Dragon Ball, and it was a good-ass show, and Toonami got me into that.
Ragged. Ball sack. Ha. I know. I was trying to be not funny, but, like,
yeah.
thinking...
Funny story, my friend Ryan never... Because it was Dragon Ball Z, so it was, like, that era of television where, like, if you missed one episode... you were very likely to never see that episode again because you'd have to wait for a rerun, and they never really did too many reruns of Dragon Ball Z until they got all the way through the saga, right? So, like, there's only one episode where Frieza is in his third form, where he's basically just like a ripoff of the Xenomorph. And my friend Ryan did not believe me that Frieza had a third form. He straight thought I was lying to him. It's like, no, he's got like a big egg-shaped head. He's like, that's not true. That's not the thing. He goes from the horns to the bigger, like, bull-looking thing, and then he goes to the final form. That's it. I'm like, no, there's a third form. I swear to God. Like, we looked it up on the internet, but it was in the day when there was shitty resolution on Google Images. So we got this shitty image back, and he's like, that's not real. You're making shit up. That's just some bullshit that you found online and then made up this story to me. I'm like, no, it's real. I saw the episode.
Did you guys watch Teen Titans growing up?
Yeah,
A little bit.
Great story. If it, much like with Ian, with similar to his Batman thing, if it were not for Teen Titans, I would never have gotten into comics. Yeah. I honestly, no joke, I honestly thought it was a show about Robin and a bunch of original characters. It wasn't until, like, a little later, when I found, like, a DC encyclopedia, I was like, these are real DC characters? Oh my god!
Oh, neat. Yeah, I watched a little bit of Teen Titans, but it did, like, that chibi thing all the time, and I just could never really get into it. Like, I feel like I'd get emotionally invested, and then all of a sudden Cyborg's head would be 5 times bigger, and his eyes would, like, take up a third of his head, and as he yelled at Beast Boy for something, and I was like, okay. I just, like, that shit always pulls me out of something. I'm like, oh, fuck this.
You're articulating things that I totally agree with about shows, and it's awesome because I feel like I don't even feel the need to say them because you're articulating. I'm just like, I'm gonna let Ian do it. You got it right with Danny Phantom. Now he's getting it right with Teen Titans.
Yeah, that always pulled me out, man.
Do you guys remember Code Lyoko? Did you ever watch that show?
Yes. Fuck that show, dude. Fuck that show.
I'm so alone here. I really am.
Yeah, you are. If you're about to sit here and defend Code Lyoko, get the fuck out of here. Fuck that show.
I never watched. I have no idea what this is.
Good.
Okay. Let me explain. It's basically a French animated show when Toonami kind of got the backseat in this new show, this new series called Magoozy walked in. Do you remember that?
No.
All right. So basically, what it was a show about a group of kids who go into a virtual world to stop this AI from entering our world, and that was kind of the gist of the show. It was like Matrix, the animated series, in a way.
Okay,
it's pretty much they play like a video game.
I know what I want to talk.
They go into like a VR video game.
Fuck that. I don't care anymore because I know what I want to talk about now.
Yeah, good. Fuck Code Lyoko.
All right, you ready?
What?
Digimon, digital monsters,
Digimon.
I fucking dug Digimon, man. Like, I got everyone in my age group when it came out got into Pokemon, and I was into Pokemon for a bit, but then Digimon came around. And Digimon was my like, I was a Digimon elitist. I was like, you're into Pokemon? Fuck that, I got Digimon.
Oh, that was the same way with me. That was actually the same way with me, was that when Digimon showed up, I was like, oh, I'm totally in this.
Yeah, man, Digimon was the shit.
I stayed with Digimon all the way to The fourth series where they actually could become Digimon. Um,
I didn't watch that far. I don't think, at least. I quit watching when they decided to switch protagonists and like they go to the real world where Digimon are coming into the real world. It's like this kid and his like red Digimon or something.
that's the best series. That was like the best season.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's just like it was so different and it wasn't following the same characters. It almost felt just like a reboot, basically.
That's what it
So I
was.
quit
That's
watching
what.
it. Yeah,
Dude,
yeah,
and that's
yeah.
what
I get that. They shouldn't have done that because it made me lose interest. Um, sorry, like I what I liked was War Greymon with his fucking like awesome ass CGI transition form. As he evolved into that because it was
the War
fucking
Greymon.
cool.
It was Metal.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you love the Metal Greymon? And oh man, there was like Black War Greymon, who was like the most awesome thing ever growing up. I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
dude, I had a War Greymon toy. That thing, like, you could like it was so cool because it started off as Agumon, and it was like a transformer, and you could transform it into War Greymon.
yeah,
It was so badass.
they did that for Gabumon too, where you could make him like transform and digivolve into all his other forms. That was
Yeah.
like
Digimon was just like the shit. Like Death Battle, recently, a couple of years ago at this point, did a Death Battle between what's his name with his like special Charizard that could evolve into like a third form.
it was
versus.
hang on. I know what you're talking about. It was Trainer Red with Charizard and the Mega Evolution and Tai and Agumon. They recently did Lucario and Renamon.
Yeah, they did the death battle between those two though, and like they made the perfect point about why Digimon was so much cooler. It's like, yeah, when Pokemon evolve, it's a pretty big power jump, but like when Digimon evolve, it just gets ridiculous. It's like tripling every time, and it's so fucking awesome. Digimon was the shit. Digimon shat all over Pokemon.
Okay.
And like,
I'm gonna throw the fucking gauntlet down. Fuck Digimon. Fuck that
What?
shit.
What? Okay, this is the point where Ian and I team up on you.
yeah.
See, here's the problem with Digimon, okay? And this is the thing you gotta understand, alright? Maybe the show's better. I don't know. I didn't watch the fucking show Digimon, and I only watched up to, like, Pokemon Johto, okay? So that's I know a lot of the theme songs for Pokemon, and I know some Digimon theme, but outside of that, I didn't watch them. But this is the thing: where Pokemon whoops its ass is when it comes to video games, which is where the main backbone of Pokemon is. It's in the video games.
But we're not here to talk about video games. We're talking about cartoon shows.
I'm just saying, as an IP, that's why Pokemon whoops its ass.
I mean, fair enough. I never really got into any of the Pokemon games, and I had one Digimon game, and it was really boring.
And that's why you're misled. I did as well.
Yeah.
I played a lot of Pokemon games, but I only had one.
Yeah,
Digimon,
and to be fair to Pokemon, and it may be one of the failings of Digimon, or I guess it depends on your attitude. Because like I was talking about earlier, I quit watching Digimon because they switched protagonists. Ash, like, I guess he sacrifices the souls of virgins to maintain his youth because he has never stopped being 10 years old, and he just keeps getting new...
20 years now.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel like changing.
He keeps getting these, like, female companions, and he's, like, I think he's, like, sucking their youth away to maintain his own.
Pokemon
and like, because... Yeah. Because he's never stopped being the protagonist of the series. It's always, as far as the Pokemon animated series goes, they're still making new episodes, and it's still Ash. Whereas Digimon, we got, 3 seasons of Tai and the gang?
No, it was 2 seasons. It was 2 seasons of... Well, okay, if you want to go...
2 seasons in, a movie?
No, you're right. It was 4 seasons. It was 4 seasons of that group, and then it moved on to Next Generation. Then it went to Tamers, and then from then on.
Yeah. And I lost interest as soon as those guys went away. I didn't want to watch it anymore. Like I tried and was like, oh wow, it looks a lot better. Like visually, the animation style it got a big jump when they switched, but I couldn't get invested anymore. I watched all this stuff with them beforehand, and then I didn't have any more interest in that. Digimon was just such a cool show, though, and like I tried going back to it when it was on Netflix. And again, this is why you shouldn't do that, because it's not super watchable when you try to go back to it. You remember Skull Greymon? I always wanted a card or a toy of Skull Greymon, but I can never find one.
Dude, I actually used to own a card of Skull Greymon.
Ah, I'm jealous. I remember I asked for one for Christmas one year, and my parents couldn't figure out how to get one. I so wanted one because it was so fucking badass. It was like fucking metal, dude.
Yeah, I had Skull Greymon, I had Black War Greymon, I had basically all the Greymon evolutions, actually, now that I think about it. Let's see, I also had Piedmon, all the Dark Masters. Oh my god, I am such a nerd.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. No, Digimon was a cool show, though. I remember really liking Digimon. Like, I straight up had friends over the fact that we liked Digimon, and they were, like, really shitty friends. But, like, they were the only other people at school that watched Digimon and not Pokemon, so we'd all, like, hung out anyway, and they were just fucking assholes.
Oh, dude, I was this growing up. That you were either in the school grounds, you were either a Digimon fan or a Pokemon fan, and it was like Jets. It was like West Side Story. You had the Jets and the Sharks. Only we didn't do dances.
Yeah, and you did like your Broadway dance.
No, we didn't do Broadway dances. We actually got into like fist fights over them.
Oh wow!
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
fuck that.
It was a Florida high school. It was a Florida like grade school. There was nothing to do but fight.
You're much more peaceful and pleasant in my elementary school.
Yeah, that's nice. I like Digimon. Digimon was cool. What else? Rasco, you take us somewhere.
I think I was just thinking of another series, but I can't remember what it was. This is cheating because this is not animated like pen and paper, but it is animated stop motion.
That's fine.
You guys ever heard of Bump in the Night?
Oh my god, I love that show. Oh, that was so cool.
Yeah.
I like
Really hard to explain. It's pretty much just about like things that are like alive in a bedroom.
Think if you ever remember Gumby, think that, but a little more like whacked out.
Yeah, imagine Gumby, Toy Story, mixed with like a little bit of Hot Topic.
Oh, you've said the words, and you know what we got to transition to then.
Oh God.
Invader Zim.
Yes.
Oh man, I loved Invader Zim so much.
I am
cracked the fuck up about Invader Zim constantly.
I am so glad it's coming back as a movie and a series. Yep. Ian, I'm surprised that you're not getting the comics right now.
You know, I missed the first couple issues, and I don't know the team involved in it.
It's the creator. It's Joan. It is Joan and Vasquez and Eric Trueheart.
Ooh, then I might have to start picking that. I didn't realize it was him attached to it still. I thought it was just like one of those tie-in comics or something.
No, it's him.
Yeah, I might have to pick that up. That sounds pretty great. Yeah, Invader Zim just had like that perfect level of being so goddamn creepy and unnerving. Like, I remember hearing an interview with the lady that voice casted Invader Zim, and she was like, for auditions, I just asked people to scream, and it totally worked. Because everybody had, like, such disturbing screams on that. And, like, there's so many great moments in Invader Zim. Like, when he sends Dib and the other children into space to send them to another dimension.
To a
room
with a
moose. Invader Zim was great, man. There was like an evolution to get to Invader Zim, where we had Ren and Stimpy, and then we had Real Monsters, and then eventually we got Invader Zim. And man, those shows were like a trifecta of creepy weirdness.
Indeed,
That was
they
also
were.
hilarious.
Indeed, they were. Oh, but there were like some really terrible shows that I remember that were just awful. Even as a kid growing up, I remember like there was like Butt Ugly Martians. Oh, that.
Oh my god. Oh fuck, Butt Ugly Martians. I couldn't take that show.
Oh, I'll do you one better. Like, do you guys remember Super Sumo Slam? Oh, that show was
No.
all. It was a bunch of sumo wrestlers who were superheroes, and they like high-fived with their butts.
What were the names of the characters? Because I think I remember what you're talking about.
I can't even remember.
Wasn't there like the flea?
No, that's Mucha Lucha.
Oh yeah, you're right. It's a different show, but there's wrestling. It's just not sumo. It's like whatever Mexican wrestling is. I don't know what it is.
Mm-hmm. You remember Kablam?
Yeah. Oh my God, best show on that was Action League. Now.
See, I don't even remember that. I just remember like, what was the name of the? They did like a series in claymation where it was
Prometheus and Bob.
Yes, Prometheus and Bob, where the alien was trying to teach the caveman how to use technology. Like, dude, that was like Looney Tunes level pairing right there. That was brilliant. And then that was how we got Fairly Odd Parents. I remember Fairly Odd Parents started as just a short on Kablam, and then they're like, we're going to turn one of our shows into a ongoing series, and like you got to vote.
Ian, it wasn't on Kablam. It was on Oh Yeah Cartoons. And
are you sure?
Yeah, it was. But you're right. There was a cartoon that got its own spin-off from Kablam, and that was Action League Now.
I could swear that Fairly Odd Parents started on Kablam.
No, it was Oh Yeah Cartoons.
You need to get your facts.
I don't believe you.
Fact
I am Wikipediaing this right now.
Yeah, he's about to drop some knowledge.
I am going to look into this because I feel like it started off. Okay, was Fairly Odd Parents originally part of Kablam? Answers.com. Show answer. No, the series. Damn it!
This is the part where you
right.
This is the part where you apologize.
No, this is the part where we delete this information from the podcast, and I continue to be right forever. Ha Does anyone here doubt I would actually do that if I cared enough?
Yeah.
Anyway. Well, no, like, I remember Kablam had a lot of weird stuff. Like, what was the other one that was claymation where it was
Life with Loopy.
Yes, that was fucking creepy.
Oh, that show was so disturbing. And then you had, like, Scratch and Sniff. What was the other show they did? Like, it was Scratch and Sniff, Prometheus and Bob, Action League Now, Life with Loopy. There was another one I'm forgetting.
I just need to look up Action League Now, see if I can recognize it. Oh my god, with action figures.
Yep.
Oh my god, I remember this. Holy shit!
Yeah, they had a team up with Kiss, too.
Oh my fucking god, this was awful. This was so bad. How did this get a show?
This is awesome. I'm looking at pictures.
I thought this was a good idea. Actually, oh my god, I remember the one with the fucking baby now. Holy shit, like the memories are flooding in.
Yeah, that was the one with Kiss, the one with the giant baby.
Oh my god, this was a terrible idea.
No, you're wrong.
Oh, Jesus Christ, whoever thought this would work?
Shut up, you're wrong.
Oh god, no! This is not something I will ever go to watch again.
No, you're
Oh
wrong. It's
man.
great. I like it.
Yeah, Melt Man, because it was the melted action figure. Yeah, I remember that. Wow. Oh, this is weird. This is so trippy to see again. Ugh. Okay, anyway. Yeah, Kablam, there were like a couple series like that that were like anthology shows, collected stuff.
Yeah, there was Oh Yeah cartoons in this.
Mm.
I actually thought there were several shows on Oh Yeah that I thought was kind of hoping would get shows. Like there was one that was like an X-Files parody, but it was like with fairy tale characters.
Mm. Interesting. I'm just looking through stuff, trying to remember it, and I honestly, the only thing I remember from that is Fairly Odd Parents. Wow. Weird. What was the other one that was Nicktoon that was real good? Angry Beavers. Angry Beavers was my shit. Love Angry Beavers.
Excuse me. I remember the Halloween special for Angry Beavers. That was so great. It's the walking spleen.
Yes. Oh my god. Like, what was so fucking funny about Angry Beavers was just the voice acting. The voice acting made that show. Like, it had the same just exaggeration and ridiculousness of Invader Zim, where it was like they'd say something, then like whisper it loudly and stretch out the word. It's like the walking spleen, the spleen. They do that all the time.
Ian, after this, you need to go check out the audio for the unaired final episode.
Oh yeah.
It's so great because it's basically the voice actors. Like halfway through the episode, you hear them actually like call themselves by their voice actors, and they just improv the rest of the episode.
That's pretty funny. Oh man. Ugh. Then there's the other. I'm pretty sure it was Dan Harmon. What was that one called with the kid with the chalk?
Oh, Chalk Zone, but that wasn't Butch Hartman.
Really? Okay. It has similar style too.
That was the other cartoon from Oh Yeah that got its own show. That and Fairly Odd Parents.
Okay. That was a weird one. Like, that kid had reality manipulating powers and no one thought it was weird.
Well, no
Jimmy
one knew.
Neutron?
You guys
Just
remember?
looking through.
Do you guys remember
Shit.
Billy and Mandy?
Yeah. Steve loves Billy and Mandy.
Yeah, I watched that show.
Probably because Mandy is like his spirit animal.
Oh, man.
It's true, you know it too.
I mean, I'm not gonna doubt that if Steve ever met death, he would find a way to make it his slave. Just through, like, questioning whether or not death justifies his existence.
Oh man. I actually liked when they had Hector because it used to be a Grim and Evil show because there was another character who was like a world conqueror, but he had his brain put inside a bear's body. Like,
Yeah.
oh, it's Hector Con Carne.
Oh, yeah. Man. I'm going down memory lane right now. Did you guys ever watch Hey Arnold?
Yep.
Yeah.
I am so happy that it's getting a movie November.
Really?
Yeah.
Animated again or no?
Animated. You can actually go to the Nickelodeon website and see that, as well as the trailer for the Rocko's Modern Life movie and the Invader Zim Animax for their upcoming movie.
Well, I remember watching. You say it's getting a movie. I remember seeing the Hey Arnold movie in theaters.
It's getting a new. There was a Hey Arnold movie, but this one is tied directly into the show and talking about what happened to Arnold's parents, and it's also the jumping off point for a new TV show.
Really?
It's not a reboot of Hey Arnold. It is a continuation and setting them in just like 2 years in the future, like our time.
Gotcha. I don't know. Hey Arnold was an interesting idea for a series show, like City Kids, that whole thing. I just thought that was cool. they always seemed cooler because they were city kids, and I was not. Like, they talked about, this is my stoop, and I'm like, I want to stoop. And so, like, I would sit out on my front porch, was just like a block of concrete right in front of the door that you would step up to, and my friend Andrew would come over and like to say hi, but he couldn't see me behind the bushes as he approached until he went around the corner. He's like, Ian, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, sitting on my stoop.
You know, this unfortunately explains a lot about you, Ian.
Very much so. Don't be jealous.
Oh no, it's pity, not jealousy.
Uh-huh, sure. You just wanted to stoop.
No, I had actually, like, every house I've lived in has a stoop, so I beat you in multiple times in my timeline.
Damn it. I'm pretty jealous right now. I really want to stoop. Damn it. Dimplezola, can I borrow your stoop?
I think that's one thing a dude should say to another dude.
Oh, man.
We found our 5th segment. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Ugh. Bad. Memory lane. Okay, what's a cartoon show that you thought was really, really bad and you never knew why people watched it?
Oh, fuck.
Oh, I got one. Gummy Bears. You guys remember that show?
No, I didn't know that was a thing until I saw Nostalgia Critic doing an episode where he mentioned it. And I was like, why would anyone watch that shit?
Yeah, that was a thing where it was like all these magical bears that could jump. The theme was actually kind of catchy, I'll admit, but the show itself was.
My answer is Code Lyoko.
Oh, you're not gonna bait. You are not gonna bait me. You are not gonna bait.
Yeah, okay, I'm trying to think of one. Shit, like, I asked the question, I don't really know if I have an answer. Huh. No, I can't think of many shows that, like, I actively thought were terrible. There were, like, shows I didn't watch and shows I didn't care for, but, like...
I guess another show that I knew was existing, but I didn't care much for was Bonkers.
No idea what that was.
It was basically Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but without Roger Rabbit.
Yeah, and that does not sound appealing.
It was not. But the funny part was, like, some of the main characters were the Mad Hatter and March Hare from the Alice in Wonderland movie, and they had all the best lines.
Okay, I think I've got one, and I'm probably gonna start a war. I did not like SpongeBob.
That's fair.
Interesting. Okay, I have like different feelings about like different eras because there's a lot of SpongeBob. So I think that, and most people agree that like generally like the first like 3 to 4 seasons of SpongeBob are like the best, and the rest it's like very different. Like later SpongeBob is very different from early SpongeBob. I really like a lot of SpongeBob though.
The first
I thought it was okay at first, but then it just started to get really annoying.
Yeah, by season 5, you are done. But the first 4 seasons, well, season 4 is where you start to see it have a change. But the first 3 seasons are really solid. Like, this is my lab, and this is my laboratory.
Like, yeah, I remember, like, jokes from SpongeBob that were always funny. Like, whenever someone's backing up the forklift at work, we're like, you're good, you're good, you're good, until they, like, run over a skid, like, you're good, keep going, you're good.
There's also great music in SpongeBob. All of the SpongeBob songs are great.
Oh, I still think the best episode of SpongeBob is Band Geeks.
Yes, that is the best episode of SpongeBob, no doubt at all. The best episode. That is the best episode of, like, anything ever. It's an awesome episode. It is inspiring.
Okay, then. You remember the episode of SpongeBob where, like, the fat fish goes into the Krabby Patty and orders, like, this ridiculous sandwich with like extra pickles?
Yeah.
So someone actually broke down what his order was.
Yeah,
like,
you told me about this. Yeah.
Yeah, like, this means this means this means with, like, an extra bun. This means double patties. This means use a quarter pounder patty instead of a normal patty. This means add cheese. This means extra sauce. Like, they break down what everything in that order means, and then they actually made it. And it's like a 5-foot tall sandwich. And so there were like clever bits in early SpongeBob, but just after a while it just got so annoying. And I just could not stand it anymore and just rolled my eyes anytime it was on.
Yeah, I think like outside of Band Geeks, my second favorite episode is when Patrick and SpongeBob and Squidward get shanghaied, and they have to escape. They have to go through the perfume department.
Yeah. That's actually.
I don't even know what Band Geeks episode is. I gotta look up images for this.
That's the one where Squidward makes his own marching band to play like a Super Bowl-esque thing, and it
because he has to, because Squilliam, what is the douchebag unibrow squid guy's name? Is it Squilliam?
Squilliam. Yeah, Squilliam.
He needs to like show up Squilliam, because Squilliam's like expecting him to show up and like look humiliated, not have a band, and like, oh, I'm not a real composer. But then like he shows up and all of the band, they're like, you know what, we're not gonna let Squidward down. And then because like they literally are like, do you remember that time that Squidward like saved your kids or like something like that? They're like, no. And they're like, who did it? And he's like, it was a firefighter. He's like, yeah, but let's just pretend that Squidward did all of those things. And then they like show up for Squidward, and then they like perform this amazing song, and it's so good, and then Squidward has this like one moment of just like triumph, and it's the best episode. It is so good.
Oh, that's funny.
God, it's so good.
Whoever's the owner of the lights, Dad, you left your lights on.
Cause sweet victory.
Is mayonnaise an instrument? No, Patrick, mayonnaise is not an instrument. Horseradish is not an instrument either.
I really like the episode where they're in Sandy's glass dome and she's hibernating, and so she's like a giant bear squirrel that's gonna like kill them if they're too loud. So they start ripping her fur off to be covered. And then I also really like the episode where SpongeBob has the fake muscles, and I also love the episode where he keeps ripping his pants, and there's the song about him ripping his pants. That's a great episode as well.
Okay.
It's such a great episode.
SpongeBob turned into a clown.
I'm gushing over SpongeBob. What low have I reached?
Fair enough. No, I never really got that into it. It had like jokes and stuff that were funny on their own, but like I just remember watching episodes and just like hearing SpongeBob's fucking laugh started to just grate on my ears, like that shit. It was awful.
Fair. I love the memes that come from SpongeBob. Like, you know the episode where they're like cavemen.
Yeah, it's like would your girlfriend come in on you? Ooh.
And it's like the caveman SpongeBob, and he's like, huh?
Did you see the live action SpongeBob renderings someone did?
I don't think so.
Oh my god, it's the most terrifying thing ever. They did like 3D models of live action SpongeBob characters. It's horrifying. They did it like the most realistic thing they could make. Hold on, let me look up live action SpongeBob, because it's pretty hideous.
I'm thinking of more episodes that are great, by the way. The bomb pie episode where Squidward thinks that he's gonna kill SpongeBob because he thinks that SpongeBob ate a pie that had a bomb in it, and then also the episode where Squidward tries a Krabby Patty for the first time, and he winds up exploding because he eats too many Krabby Patties.
Oh, did you hear the fan theory that got confirmed?
What?
Okay. So if you look at all the other items on
Oh,
the
I've
menu...
seen this actually.
Yeah. If you look at all the other items on the menu of the Krabby Patty or the Krusty Krab, they all say what they are made of. So it's like the kelp salad's a salad made of kelp, all this other stuff. So the Krabby Patty is made of crab meat, and Mr. Krabs is the only crab in Bikini Bottom because of that.
That's awesome.
Were you talking about the live action thing? Rasco, when you said you've seen this before?
Oh, I just looked at it and I was like, oh, I have seen this actually, yeah.
Yeah, that is so fucking terrifying.
Yeah, it is really creepy.
Yeah. Live action SpongeBob is
Hurrah,
the most horrific idea ever.
Oh man, that makes Plankton the hero if he reveals the Krabby Patty formula to be crab.
There you go. There you go, man. Now you know.
Dun, 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 dun.
The training video's so good. It sounds like a lot of hoopla.
Yes.
It sounds like a lot of hoopla. Hoopla.
Hoopla. Throws a break at him. That's the best part of that.
I don't even know what the fuck is going on anymore.
You have to see the episode. You understand. It's impossible to explain. It's one of the funniest things. It's just so funny.
Hey, do you guys remember Two Stupid Dogs?
No.
No, but I remember Cat Dog.
Yeah, I was literally about to say no, but I remember Cat Dog.
Rasco, you and I are in sync tonight. I like it.
Yeah, Cat Dog.
There was also, there's Two Stupid Dogs. That show, I just barely remember. I was like, the only thing I remember was like a scene where a guy came up to a bird singing. He's like, "Aw, isn't that cute? But it's wrong."
Okay, then.
Yeah, it was the 90s. What about Cow and Chicken?
Cow and Chicken was another one of those ones where, like, it was mainly for adults. It was like, that was the show that your parents would watch with you because they actually got the jokes and you would just laugh because they were laughing.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah, Cow and Chicken was disturbing.
But I think Johnny Bravo was even better at that. Like, I could go
definitely.
back.
Johnny Bravo was great.
Have you guys ever seen the Johnny Bravo crossover with Scooby-Doo?
Yeah, I remember. I watched that. It was so great. Literally... Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Rascal.
But you had it on DVD. Did you have it on like DVD or something?
Yeah.
All right. Was there like a little were there like a couple like little animated shorts on there, or maybe they were like a part of something else that they were like really weird? Really dig deep into your mind. Think about this, because I remember the DVD that had the Johnny Bravo Scooby-Doo crossover also had this like weird kind of like short, I think, that was either the beginning or maybe it was like a bonus feature, but it was like this unrelated thing that was really, really weird.
I remember an animatic, but I can't remember.
It's about little like things like eating each other. Like this one thing was like eating the other thing and getting really big and it's hard to explain. Really weird stuff though, and it's like if I could see it again, it would, but I can't remember what it was. Anyway.
Okay. No, Johnny Bravo was pretty good. There's a Johnny Bravo fan film I've been meaning to pick for an episode for a while now.
Oh man,
is that the one with Rick and Morty in it?
Yes. No, Johnny Bravo was really funny. That's one that, like, I don't think they could bring back in this day and age.
No, I think honestly, you could do it on Adult Swim. I mean, Samurai Jack got to be on Adult Swim. Why not Johnny Bravo, right?
Well, it's just Modern Sensibilities is about the fact that Johnny Bravo's a dick. Like, that was kind of the joke with Johnny Bravo, but still, I don't think a lot of people got that he was a dick.
He's a douche. There's a difference, I think.
My bad.
I remember they did a movie where he went to Bollywood because the show was actually a huge hit in India.
Really?
So, and they literally did the entire crew of the show, including Seth MacFarlane, got together to do a movie where Johnny Bravo went to Bollywood.
Interesting. I didn't realize Seth MacFarlane was attached to Johnny Bravo.
I didn't
Yeah,
either.
He was attached for the first season, and I think a little bit of the second season.
Oh, that's cool. I had no
interesting.
idea.
I remember the Twilight Zone episode of Johnny Bravo.
Oh yeah, that where he has to babysit the kid. Oh yeah. You remember?
Yeah, and you just got the voice act or the narrator over it. That was funny.
Ed and Eddie. What do you?
Yes.
Yes, Ed
Yeah.
and Eddie.
I liked Ed and Eddie. Yeah.
Oh, that was so great. Oh, do you guys
I always
remember
tried to think of ways to make their scams actually work, and then try them on my fellow neighborhood kids, and it never worked out.
Yeah, Ed and Eddie is one of those things that cemented this weird notion in your mind that jawbreakers would be this just food that you would always be in pursuit of. Jawbreakers are this thing. If you can get a jawbreaker, your life is set. They're delicious. They're amazing. And how often do you really eat jawbreakers in real life though?
I had a jawbreaker exactly one time after watching Ed, and Eddie, and then I had it and I was like, I don't ever want to watch Ed, and Eddie again. They lied to me. I thought I did not care for the jawbreaker. It was not very good.
But yeah, Ed, and Eddie was fantastic. That's still my favorite Cartoon Network show. Out of everything they've done, that is still my number one cartoon. If I was to do a list of top 10 animated shows, Ed, and Eddie would be on that list somewhere.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. I've gone back. I remember years later catching a new episode of Ed, and Eddie because they apparently brought it back for a while, and they were in school, and it just felt wrong.
No, they didn't bring it back. They didn't. That was just another season.
Okay, well, I thought they'd quit. I thought they quit making it for a while and then brought it back, but it was so wrong to see them in school. I did not like it.
Really. What was who?
Yeah.
Which was your favorite of the Eds?
Oh, definitely Ed with 2 Ds.
Double D. I like Double D as well.
Yeah,
Which was
if you're gonna ask favorite Canker sister, it's Marie.
Yeah, that was the other one I was about to ask. I don't know what the names of them were, but I like the one with the blue hair.
Yeah, that was
Me too. I like the one with the blue hair.
Yeah.
That was Marie.
She was funny.
It was Marie, and I still being the avid shipper that I am. I still love Double D and Ed. I mean, not Double D and Marie as a.
Yeah, I'm such a shipper too, dude. I agree with you 100%.
Oh man.
That was one of my favorite. That was when I even before I knew what shipping was. That is still my biggest ship. I have
That's a ridiculous admission on the internet, dude.
Hey, I have a little shame saying it, but whatever.
I mean, it's awesome, it's cool, but
That's pretty funny. Ed, and Eddie was pretty good.
Definitely.
What's a show that you think you would like to see come back now that we're getting so many of these back?
Okay, I'd like to see more Rugrats.
We are getting
Really?
We're getting more Rugrats. That's been confirmed.
Oh, really? I want to go back to babies and do more Rugrats.
Yeah, they are. They're doing that.
Okay, that's cool.
And baby,
Like when we say back to babies, we're still gonna have Dill and what was her name, Susie?
the only thing is that the voice actress for Chucky passed away.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Aww.
I would like to see, if I was to pick a show to come back, I would. I mean, we got DuckTales back. We're getting that. Darkwing Duck's coming along with it because they're going to be in the same show. Gargoyles. Yeah, Gargoyles. I want to see that come. But yeah, it's getting a continuation in novels. So, but as an animated series, definitely.
Okay.
What else?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of one myself. I would like to see the DCAU come back.
Yeah, that's the thing. I agree. I would like to see them bring that back because we never got Blue Beetle, and that was what bothers me about that. Is it feels incomplete because Blue Beetle was never in it.
Fair enough. I'd like them to just bring it back and start with Wonder Woman. Just like post Justice League Unlimited, just start a Wonder Woman series. That could be great.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
I would
Like round out the
DCAU
trinity
back.
of animated series for sure. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Give Green Lantern a series again, because that show was so fucking good, and I don't know, either bring that back or just give me
You could
DCAU
do Flash
Green
now
Lantern.
because of the popularity of the Flash television show.
Yeah, you could probably get away with that.
You could do it.
And it'd be Wally West Flash, too. That'd be nice.
Like, because
Yeah,
enough characters have been introduced on that show to where it's like, oh, you could actually have a Flash show with like a lot of Rogues Gallery characters.
Yeah, good. I think another show would be cool to see come back is maybe. Well, I was going to say Tailspin because I like that show, but there's been hinted it's going to be in the DuckTales show as a part of that universe now.
Tailspin was weird.
It is, but
Tailspin made like the least sense out of everything Disney ever did. Tailspin was weird.
yeah, it was like, why are Jungle Book characters flying in a plane?
Why is Shere Khan in a fucking suit? Like, what the shit with that show, man?
When you guys were really, really, really little, did you ever watch the show JJ the Jet Plane?
Yes.
Oh, I remember that. Like, I never
Was
watched
it like a spin-off of Thomas the Tank
It was the
Engine?
same exact thing. It was planes with faces, but they flew.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's a bunch of different kinds of planes.
There's like a meme going around of like the anatomy of Cars, like from the movie Cars. There's a meme going around about the anatomy of cars because they have like tongues and mouths and shit, and so they'd obviously need internal organs.
Yeah.
Someone like topped it and did the anatomy of Thomas the Tank Engine, and it's fucking terrifying.
That's so funny to me. I used to love Thomas the Tank Engine when I was a kid.
The internet just ruins everything. Like, I saw this great little meme the other day of someone who's like pissed off about all like the dark and gritty interpretations of like kids shows. Like, the Rugrats are not all made up by Angelica. Ed, Ed and Eddie are not ghosts, goddammit. And I'm tired of seeing these hot takes where they do this to my beloved characters. So you know what? From now on, anytime I see a dark and gritty television show, I'm gonna give it a lighthearted, silly twist. Okay? And here's how we're starting off. Game of Thrones is just a D&D saga with the Dungeon Master being a total dick and promising to kill everybody's original characters and their families. And then it just like started with all these people like posting on it, and they're like, what was the one? Oh, fucking Breaking Bad is just a fan fiction series the kids in Mr. White's classroom came up with because they don't know shit about his life and it just got out of hand.
That's awesome. That's actually hilarious. Because that is so actually something that happens in school. Like, people create origin stories for their teachers.
Right?
So I guess Better Call Saul would be the continuation of that. Would they just gave too much to their teacher?
Yeah. They're like, let's go somewhere else with this.
Yeah, like we can't just leave it there. We got to continue.
Mm-hmm.
Created a reality now that needs to continue.
Yeah, exactly. So that was like really funny. God, that shit was so fun. I'm trying to find because it was on a tweet. I'm trying to find the tweet and see if I can read the other one because I know there's a third one I'm forgetting. It's gonna drive me nuts. But yeah, just like what do you think of like all those things that try to what do you want to call it? Interpret your shows as like really dark and hideous or whatever.
Oh, I don't know. It's always
I call it trying too hard.
No, yeah, I think it's really easy. Like, I think like when you put your mind to it, you can try and do that for a lot of other things, and it gets too easy, and that's why I think it's almost always kind of just like bull.
Mm-hmm. And that's fair. It's just one of those things. Like it's kind of funny the first time you see it, and then it like keeps happening, and you're like, I don't like this. This is annoying.
Yeah. Wow.
I can't fucking find this thing. God damn it. It's gonna piss me off.
I'm glad that we were all able to
Do you
agree
guys
on
remember?
Ed, Edd n Eddy, though, as a Hall of Fame cartoon.
It is. It deserves it. Do you guys remember the Mortal Kombat animated series and how bad
No.
that was?
This was
No.
a thing.
But me and...
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. There was also RoboCop, the animated series, and
What?
yeah,
Wasn't there Men in Black?
yeah, there was Men in Black.
Yeah, I remember Men in Black animated series. Do you remember the Ace Ventura and the Mask animated series?
Yeah,
No.
they crossed over.
There was
Yeah,
the
there's got a crossover. That's awesome.
Matthew Broderick Godzilla animated series.
Yeah,
Which is actually pretty good.
and it's actually, here's the fun part about that show. That and Extreme Ghostbusters and the Men in Black animated series are all done by the same group, and apparently they're all in the same universe.
What? Godzilla is in the same...
But no,
Rasco just had a stroke.
But it's hilarious because like they put that Godzilla into the canon of the Godzilla like universe. Well, they constantly retcon all of their canon in Godzilla, so this doesn't actually have any meaning. But like in Godzilla, I think it's like Final Wars. Godzilla fights the Godzilla from the Matthew Broderick movie because it's like not the real Godzilla and it's like a misconception and it's like a joke in the movie where the Godzilla just like destroys the shit out of it and like just owns the Matthew Broderick Godzilla. It's hilarious.
Yeah, and the guy goes, "Ugh, I knew that tuna head wasn't up to snuff."
Yeah, yeah. And then it's like, what's funny about that is that like, if the animated series is canonical to that, then like that expands the Godzilla canon very wide for at least that film's continuity. Because like they constantly Godzilla literally like has like just rebooted itself, but kept the first film in the continuity so many times it's absurd.
Well, yeah, but with Millennium, it was consistent reboots, except for Tokyo SOS and Godzilla Against Godzilla. Those are the only ones that had any continuity between them.
Yeah. It's really weird. Like, no other franchise did... Well, maybe that's not exactly true, but very few franchises do they just, like, for some reason, just continuously reboot, but the first film is always in continuity.
Yeah, I don't get why they do that all the time.
But no, Godzilla the Animated Series, that was pretty cool. I mean, it fixed everything that I hated about the 98 movie.
Yeah, pretty much.
Extreme Ghostbusters, even though the title was dumb, I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever see the Hot Wheels movie?
Was that the one where they're like somehow on a road in like another dimension?
Yes.
There's like volcanoes.
They're
and
racing
shit?
for the Wheel of Power in this
Yeah, I
other
remember
dimension with these like portals that they teleport to these other like places where there's like these roads that they drive.
I remember the name of it was Hot Wheels Battle Force 5.
Well, no, that was like that was not the first like there was the first Hot Wheels thing was the Hot Wheels movie, and that was just like Hot Wheels. That's what it was called, Hot Wheels World Race, and that was like this weird show about like it was kind of like a movie, but it was like broken up into kind of like segments that I think were just shown kind of like almost in like episodes on Cartoon Network, I think. But you could also watch the whole thing. I don't know. I had it on DVD. But I watched the whole thing, and it was kind of like this weird show about racing in this other in these other dimensions that were like ice dimensions, volcano, jungle, all these cool like Hot Wheels tracks. And it was like everyone was racing.
Now I know what you're talking about. Yeah, okay.
And they made a sequel to that. That was a show called like there was like a sequel show, and then there was eventually Hot Wheels Battle Force 5.
Gotcha. I don't know. I remember like the one scene in that first movie where like they have to jump over a gap and they don't think, or no, they have to jump over a gap and they don't think that their cars have enough speed to go through the loop.
Yeah.
So like the one guy like drives up the loop and back and forth to build up momentum to do it.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah, that was
That's
cool.
not how physics work, but that was cool.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Like I thought that was cool. Like I really liked how like they broke up all the drivers into like teams of like 4, and like there was like themes. So like the wave rippers, they were like the surfing themed cars, and like the main character, I think his name was Vert. He was like one of the wave rippers, and like their cars had like all these like weird abilities that really had nothing to do with like waves, but like his car could like hover, it had like a boost that could like hover him almost. And then like there was like other cars could do like other kind of crazy shit, and there was like cars that could like plow through lava, and like other cars that could like cut through trees and shit, and then like chainsaws on the front.
Did you guys ever see a show called Stormhawks?
No. Maybe
Oh.
I did. Was it about a bunch of different people that had like weird planes that were different colors?
Well, it was more like flying motorcycles and like
Okay.
all these different like sky islands.
Okay, I don't think I know what the show is.
It's from the same guys who did Battle Force 5, but it's like better.
Oh, what about? I'm sorry, the Kids Next Door. Can we agree? Who watched that?
I watched a bit of that. That was all right.
I watched it. I liked it.
That was cool.
Okay.
Did you guys see the Billy and Mandy crossover with that?
Oh,
They even had
No.
they had Ed and Eddie like cameo in that crossover.
my God.
See, that would make more sense for Ed, and Eddie to cross over with Kids Next Door than for Billy and Mandy to me.
Well,
Maybe that's just me.
well, apparently the that was the initial idea, but the animation was so vastly different they couldn't do it. So the guy behind, and I kid you not, this is how the story went. Maxwell Adams, the creator of Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, he was talking with the creator of Codename Kids Next Door at a little water tank, where you get water at an office. Those little like water,
The water cooler.
yeah, the water cooler. And they talked about it. And he was like, "How about we do a crossover?" And he goes, "Yeah, all right."
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
Do you guys want to go ahead and wrap up then?
yeah. I don't have anything else to say, and I kind of gotta get going, so I'm good.
That's all good. It's all right. Okay, let's see here. Next week we need a review topic. Rasco, what will we be reviewing next week?
Okay, a review topic. Shit. What shall I choose, guys? What shall...
We can review shit. I had a really shitty shit earlier. It took like a good 10 minutes.
Have
Didn't
you
have
have
very
you
good
talked
quality
about
toilet paper.
the movie Inherent Vice?
No.
We're gonna review Inherent Vice.
Okay, sounds good. Everyone, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, I'm the Philosopher.
I'm the beta male cuck.
And I am the Don Juan of Comic-Con.
And we're your geeky gentlemen, and we will be discussing things.